presenting or I will be discussing the topic about the nano world. Anyone have any idea about the word nano?
Nanotech.
Yes.
Yung maliit.
Yes, small. Nano usually means small, but not. Yes. Okay, nano isn't just small. Usually, mas maliit pa siya sa mga mga buhangin ng isang granule ng buhangin ng isang sugar. Granule ng isang sugar. So, para maintindihan nyo, key concept. Okay. Mr. Talo, pingulin.
Nano is a unit prefix meaning 1 billion. Used primarily with the metric system 10 to 9 or
10 to the power.
10 to the 9 negative 9 power or 0.00001. The technology came from the Greek words technique and logos, which means art and word respectively.
Okay. Now, our topic is all about nanotechnology. So, kapag pinagsama natin ang nano, which means very small, and technology, ano sa tingin nyo ang kahalabasan?
Very small.
Super small lang siya. Okay.
Boss.
Okay. For the continuation, ito lang sinasabi ko. Pag pinagsama yung nanotechnology, maintindihan nyo na ang isa siyang technology na sobrang liit, has almost 10 levels na siya. And for introduction, please read.
The use of nanoscale is much more than interbehavior and related with advanced science. Scientists and engineers were able to build materials with innovative properties.
So for introduction, sabi na nito na yung mga scientists or mga engineers na nag-iisip sila ng mga bagay na problema, yung mga problema na sobrang liit. For example, yung sa mga cells natin in our blood, yung usually may mga problema doon. So ninisip nila, ano ba pwede nilang gawin? So by using technology and science, yung minamanipulate nila yung mga nanomaterials or yung mga nanomaterials means yung mga sobrang liit na materials na ginagamit para sa nanotechnology. Ginagamit nila yung mga materials to build nanotechnology para mas masolusyon nila yung mga problema na yung mga problema na nasa mga group, yung mga problema na usually sobrang liit. Next slide.
Research and application of knowledge on nanomaterials have greatly helped various areas of society: healthcare, environment, energy, food, water, agriculture.
Ito nga sinasabi ko, yung mga scientists na kaya kapag yung parang inisip nila kung anong mga pwede lang gawin sa mga problema doon sa healthcare, usually sa cancer cells, gumawa sila ng mga technology para malabanan ng mga cancer cells. Next will be, for example, sa agriculture, here in the Philippines, may nagbuo ng isang nanosilica fertilizer. Yung gumagamit sila ng nanotechnology para mas mapaayos yung mga lupa, yung mga farmlands. Next slide. Slide, di ba?
Nanotechnology refers to science, engineering, and technology conducted at the nanoscale, which is about 1 to 100 nanometers. Non-science and nanotechnology employs the study and applications of this small things to others.
Ito na yung mga sinasabi nung sa mga last slides na about sa size ng nanotechnology. Okay, take note na lang kung gaano kaliit ang isang nanotechnology. Okay, everyone please take the
1 to 100 nanometers.
take note siya kasi lalabas din sa quiz na. Next is Richard Feynman. Isa siya sa mga scientists o siya yung isang scientist na nakapag-set or nakapagsimula ng nanotechnology. Yung kasi na-point out niya na ang mga scientists pwede nilang magalaw mga molecules ng mga bagay-bagay. So next, just remember Richard Feynman, physicist Richard Feynman. Okay, next is Professor Norieta Deguchi. Okay. He basically coined the term nanotechnology. Siya lang yung parang pasimula ng word nanotechnology. Next is how small is the nanoscale. Kaya doon ang sinabi ko, a nanometer is billion of a meter or 9 to the power of -5 or -9. But usually 1 to 100 nanometers. Ito ay isang illustration kung gaano kaliit ang isang nanotechnology. Kasi, sa tingin nyo ang nasabi niyo dito, kung gaano siya kaliit. For example, you get A, which are 1,000 times smaller than a bacterium. Tapos, ang isang bacterium naman is 1,000 smaller than a larger grain. Isipin niyo kung gaano kaliit ang isang building. So, kapag gano'n naman, kung gano'n in comparison, ang isang single wall carbon nanotube or isang uri ng isang nanotechnology na develop ay mas maliit pa ng 100 to 100,000 than a single strand of air. So may isip niya, sobrang liit niya talaga. Tapos kapag strand of air is usually smaller 100,000 times than a mouse or malakaw. And last one is the nanoparticle. Kasi isang sobrang liit niya na. So kapag ganon, isipin niyo na isang nanoparticle is sobrang liit. Mas maliit na siya, parang sobrang laki. 1 billion smaller than 1 million times smaller than nanoparticle. Ang isang nanoparticle. And kapag tinaysin naman ang to 1 million, magiging by side is pantay ba dito?
Manipulation of nanomaterials is an adult understanding of their types and dimensions. The various types of nanomaterials are classified according to their individual shape and size. They may be particles, tubes, wires, films, plates, or shells that have one more nanometer size dimension. One should be able to view and manipulate them so that we can take advantage of their exceptional characteristics.
Thank you. Okay, dapat napakita na isang illustration kung gaano kaliit. Sinasabi rin din sa slide na to na yung dapat ang pag-manipulate ng isang nanomaterial, kailangan mo dapat maintindihan kung gaano siya kaliit at kung gaano siya ma-manipulate by their own limits or their own size. Isang nanomaterial is usually, everyone kindly take note, usually I classify according to their individual shapes and sizes. Pwede siya maging particle, kanina nanoparticle, tubes, kanina may nakita rin sa nanotube, wires, films, plates, or shells that have 1 nanometer size dimension. Gano'n kaliit ang isang nanometer or ano ulit ang scale ng isang nanometer, everyone? 100. Thank you. And one should be able to view and manipulate them so that we can take advantage of exceptional characteristics. Para ma-check ang isang nanomaterial or isang nanotechnology, ganito ang ginagawa ito usually ginagamit ng mga scientists. First is electron microscope. Okay. Di ba usually isang telescope, yung parang dinudumi na sabay the lenses. Ang isang electron microscope, gumagamit siya ng electron particles o yung mga light para mas makita ang isang nano material or ang isang nanotechnology. And next is atomic force microscope. Na-develop siya ni Gerd Billig and Aldrich Watt and Christopher Gerber in 1986. And then, scattering microscope, a special type of microscope enables scientists to view and manipulate nanoscale particles of atoms and small molecules. At dahil mo siya yung madalas na ginagamit para ma-iba ang isang nanomaterial or isang. So, before papakita ko sa ito about what is nanotechnology. Para mas ma-refresh yung inyong mga mind, tapos yung malaman mga instructions, yung mga
Today, we are going to talk about nanotechnology. When we say something is nano, we mean it is very small. The size of 1 nanometer is 1 millionth of a meter, which is about 100,000 times smaller than the width of a human hair. Making fluid things at this incredibly small scale is called nanotechnology, and it's one of the most exciting and fast-moving areas of science today. Some nanomaterials are naturally occurring. You can find them everywhere, in volcanic ash, ocean spray, fine sand and dust. Naturally occurring nanostructures are also present in plants and animals. For example, nanostructures in insect eyes ensure an anti-reflection and water repellent effect, so they can fly safely. Nowadays, scientists can create nanostructures themselves. By rearranging the atoms of an object, they can make new nanomaterial with new properties. For example, that are stronger, lighter, or different in color. Properties change also according to their size, and this is the magic of the technology. In the food area, researchers are working with nanotechnologies to create novel products that may be of benefit to health and diet. For example, nanosilver has antibacterial properties that can be used in food contact material such as cutting boards. In food supplements, nano-sized carriers increase absorption of nutrients. Nanosensors can be incorporated into packaging to monitor the quality and shelf life of food from manufacturers to consumers. It can also make food ingredients tastier or healthier. Carving up a grain of salt into small nano-sized grains increases its surface area significantly. This means that your food needs far less salt to be good and tasty. This is good news for those who like crackers but are worried about their blood pressure. We need to make sure that food nanotechnologies do not cause harm to consumers. This is why in the EU, entering with nanomaterials in food require a safety assessment. Their specific properties need to be taken into account when assessing impact on human health and the environment. And this is where EFSA comes in. Over the coming years, nanotechnology will touch the lives of all of us. Like many scientific advances, it brings uncertainty and potential risks. It is up to scientists, business, and governments to make it work.
everyone, napansin naman hindi kayo masyadong nakinig. Miss na pa. Ano tingin mo ang mga na-take notes mo if ever nakinig ka or nanood? Okay, sa video na-mention nila yung parang mag-reject yung parang paggamit ng nanotechnology on our food. So sa pagkaintindi ko, pwede siyang magamit ng GMOs or pag-genetically modified ng isang organism. For example, sinasabi yung salt. Kapag pinalit pa ang salt, ginamit siya, malaking surface area. Kapag yung mas kokante yung gagamitin mo, or yung iba naman, yung naiiba yung mga cells. Next, we'll be talking about manufacturing.
Roman.
By
Roman. Question. Ano, sabi kasi dun sa video, meron siyang mga criteria which is na ano daw siya, yung pumasa, kumbaga, na hindi, kaya siya pumasa, ibig sabihin hindi siya harmful sa katawan ng tao. Ibig sabihin ba, yung nanotechnology ay safe sadya at walang risk sa tao?
Hindi mo natin masasabi na lahat is safe. Para sa 100% safe. Kasi usually naman, pinapalit lang mga materials. So, kung papasa siya in FDA standard, okay lang siya. So, dun sa kanina na yung parang ginigrade yung salt. So, yun parang hindi naman siyang makakasira sa ating katawan. Pero if ever na gumagamit sila ng mga masamang makinarya or mga masamang mga chemicals para makalit, pwede nang maging harmful sa atin. Thank you. Next. Ano yung manufacturing?
So, for the concentration of the nanowork, so nanomanufacturing, it refers to skilled and reliable and cost-effective manufacturing of nanoscale materials, structures, devices, and systems. It also involves research, improvement, and incorporation of processes for the construction of materials. It leads to the development of new products and improved materials. So, yung nanotechnology ay yung mga scientists ay nag-research pa kung paano yung mga nanoscales ay magagamit para makabuo pa ng mga new devices para pag-improve pa ng ating technology. So there are two approaches in nanomanufacturing, bottom-up fabrication and top-down processes. So bottom-up fabrication, it manufactures products by building them up from atomic and molecular scale components. However, this method can be time-consuming. Scientists and engineers are still in search for effective ways of putting up together molecular components that self-assemble and from the bottom up to organized structure. So, sa bottom-up fabrication, nagsisimula muna siya sa tiny materials to larger structure. So, parang may kukumpara to sa pag-build ng Lego. Yung parang magsisimula muna tayo sa maliliit na pieces hanggang sa yung makabuo na tayo ng isang image or isang bagay. Top-down fabrication. It trims down large pieces of materials into nanoscale. This process needs larger amounts of materials and discards excess raw materials. So, ang top-down fabrication naman ay kabaliktaran ng bottom-up fabrication. Kung dun sa bottom-up fabrication ay nagsisimula muna sa maliit sa palaki, dito naman ay malaki muna sa palet. Yung pagsabit, yung pag-slice, di ba malaki yung ano siya, pero pag-slice mo, mag-trims down siya ito maliliit. So, there are new approaches to the assembly of nanomaterials based from the applications of principles in top-down and bottom-up fabrication. This includes deep lithography, self-assembly, chemical vapor disposition, nanolithography, molecular effectacy, roll-to-roll processing, atomic laser effects. So, deep lithography is a method in which the tip of an atomic force microscope is dipped in the chemical liquid and then utilized to write on a surface like an old-fashioned ink, pen, and paper. So, sa deep lithography naman ay may yung parang may type of pen na mga scientists na ginagamit na ginagamitan nila ng chemical fluid na yung chemical fluid na yun ay i-grow nila sa isang microscope slide. Tapos doon makikita yung mga patterns na yung pinakamaliit na lines na maaaring magamit ng scientists para makabuo pa ng mas intricate details tulad ng ginagamit sa mga solar chips, solar panels, computer chips at iba pa. So, self-assembly, Margaret will self-assembly. Please read.
It depicts an approach wherein a set of components joined together to mold an organized structure in the absence of an outside layer.
So, sa self-assembly naman yung nanotechnology or nanomaterials ay may special features na yung nagpo-form sila ng isang structure na parang guide or
deposition. It is a procedure wherein chemicals act in response to form very pure, high-performance film. So, sa chemical vapor naman, from the word chemical, ito yung mga gas na nag-convert into solid. Tapos yung solid na yun ay maaaring gamitin para sa mga coatings na materials like doon sa solar panels. May coatings na ginamit ang chemical vapor deposition na ito yung ina-spray nila para yung maging scratch resistance ang isang bagay. Nanoimprint lithography. It is a method of generating nanoscale attributes by stamping or printing them on the surface. So, nanoimprint lithography, yung scientist ay may mold or designs na ginamit sa isang materials, tapos yun yung i-imprint nila sa isang bagay. Parang doon, para siyang yung sa nanoimprint, may design siya, tapos i-imprint din siya sa isang bagay. Parang doon, pare-parehong designs, nagkakaroon ng pare-parehong designs dahil ini-imprint lang yung designs ng isa sa isa pa. Molecular web effect. It is one manner for depositing extremely controlled thin film. So dito, sa molecular web effect kasi na yung kinokontrol nila or yung paraan ng paggawa ng materials ay may timing or procedure na sinusunod yung mga kung ano dapat temperature na magamit or para mas yung mangyayaring materials ay mas controlled kung masabi. Roll-to-roll processing. It is a high-volume practice for constructing nanoscale devices on a roller of ultra-thin plastic or metal. Dito sa roll-to-roll processing ay hindi isahan ang paggawa ng nanotechnology, yung sabay-sabay na paggawa or maramihan. Atomic layer effect. It is a means of laying down one atom thick layers on a surface. So sa atomic layer effect kasi sinasabi ito ng atom per atom, yung isa-isa ba para yung parang sinusuri ng isa-isa yung mga bagay bago sila pagsama-samahin para makabuo ng nanotechnology. With the use of these techniques, nanomaterials are made more durable, stronger, lighter, water-repellent, ultraviolet or infrared scratch resistant, electrically conductive, anti-reflective, anti-fog, antimicrobial, self-cleaning, among others. In this lead to the manufacture of the present variety of nanotechnology, enabled products such as tennis rackets and baseball bats, to catalyst for purifying oil and ultrasensitive rectification and classifications of biological and chemical topics. So, dahil sa mga approach na yun, para mas nakabuo pa tayo na mas upgraded na mga nagagamit natin sa pang-araw-araw. Tulad ng sa solar panel, di ba? Parang ang nangyayari, nagagamit na natin yung true heat na true research ay parang mas napapadali ang buhay ng napapadali. So, distinct features of nanoscale. Number one, scale at which match biology. Various activities of the cells take place at the nanoscale. The deoxyribonucleic acid or DNA serves as the genetic material of the cells and is only about 2 nanometers in diameter. Furthermore, the hemoglobin that transports oxygen to the tissues throughout the body is 5.5 nanometers in diameter. So, sa nanoscale daw ay nagmumula sa makikita na sa ating buhay which match biology of course. Sa ating DNA, nakikita yung nano na super light, parang doon nakikita yung mga cells na kung ano nangyayari or kung bakit nadidiscover yung mga sakit. Number 2, scale at which quantum effects dominate properties of materials. Particles with dimensions of 1 to 100 nanometers have properties that are significantly distinct from particles of bigger dimensions. Quantum effects directly the nature and properties of particles in this size scale. So dito, sinasabi na ang nanoscale ay may special features kung Kumbaga yung dito, yung quantum effect na to. Sa nanoscale ang gold, hindi lang gold na makita. Minsan ay purple din kapag inaano sa microscope slide na may magic, parang may magic na makikita sa mga nanoscale. So the properties of materials are highly dependent on their size. Among the essential properties of nanoscale that change the function of size include chemical reactivity, fluorescence, magnetic variability, melting point, and electrical conductivity. So sa nanoscale daw, ang bawat molecules or atoms ay may quantum effects na maaaring magbigay ng special features tulad ng pag-reaction sa, yung metal, magre-react sa kung paano mag-react yung isang bagay sa isang bagay na nagagawa ng heat or yung heat conductor. So number 2, nanoscale materials have far larger surface areas than similar masses of larger scale materials. As we increase the surface area per mass of a particular material, a greater amount of the material comes in contact with another material and can affect its reactivity. So, dito sa nanoscale materials, sinasabi na hindi, sa nanoscale, kahit na yung, halimbawa, yung dalawang bagay, magkasing size, pag i-convert siya sa nanoscale, hindi lang siya pareho lang ng same size, kundi yung isa ay mas, may larger mass na mas nawala yung isa. Yung yun ang sinasabi dito. So, for the continuation of government funding for nanotechnology in different countries will be tackled by Mr. Philippe.
US National Nanotechnology Initiative. Government funding for nanotechnology in different countries. US National Nanotechnology Initiative, the best known and the most founded program is the National Nanotechnology Initiative of the United States, the NNI-1, established in 2001 to coordinate US Federal Nanotechnology R&D. The NNI budget in 2008 and 2009 were $1.4 billion and $1.5 billion respectively. Ito na ang sinasabi dito na ang US na nagmamayari ng mga ang National Nanotechnology Initiative ay sila ang kumbaga sila magsisimula ng program para sa nanotechnology. US National Nanotechnology Initiative, the best known and the most founded program is the National Nanotechnology Initiative of the United States, the NNI was established in European Commission. In February 2008, the EC officially launched the European Nano-Electronic Initiative Advisory Council. Kumbaga, ito naman yung sa Europe na meron din silang part ng kumbaga na nag-launch din sila ng parte ng nanotechnology sa Europe. Yung European Commission. Ito naman yung sa Japan. Nanotechnology Research Institute under the National Institute for Advanced Industrial Science and Technology. Ito naman yung sa Japan na
yung kanilang nanotechnology. Ito naman, Taiwan. Taiwan National Science and Technology Program for Nanoscience and Nanotechnology. Ito naman sa Taiwan. India. Nanotechnology Research and Education Foundation. Ito naman yung sa kanila yung pinag-aaralan yung about sa nanotechnology sa Manila Department. Yung mga ano lang yan, mga pinang-bilang yung research nila sa nanotechnology. Naman yung China, National Center for Nanoscience and Technology. Ito naman yung sa Israel. Israel National Nanotechnology Initiative. Yan. Australia Office of Nanotechnology. Canada naman, ito naman ay yung National Initiative for Nanotechnology or NIN. Asia ulit, South Korea, meron sila Korea National Nanotechnology Initiative. Thailand naman, kanila ay National Nanotechnology Center of or Nanotech. Ito, familiar yung Nanotech. Ito naman yung sa Malaysia na National Malaysia Nanotechnology Initiative or NNI. Possible application, nanotechnology in the Philippines, ICT and semiconductors. Sino familiar doon sa ICT and semiconductors? Familiar ba? Yung ICT yung sa and yung ano naman, yung health and medicine, yung kumbaga, nagagamit yung nanotechnology sa paggamit sa ating ng health and medicine, makaka-invento tayo ng mga bago, mga katulong sa ating katawan, makakabuti and magiging gamot. Eh yung energy naman, yung sa nanotechnology, yung mga tutulong sa atin na kagaya na electricity, food and agriculture. Sa nanotech, yung food and agriculture, yung pwede, yung nagagamit yung nanotech sa mga fertilizer o kaya yung pag-modify na food. Gamit yung nanotechnology. Sa environment, ganito. Health and environment. Meron pa
Ano yung figures niya?
yung sa yan.
Ano yung
Hindi ko nila yun.
basta yun din?
Hindi ko namin
Hindi mo guys.
pero ang meaning din ay Philippine Council for Advanced Science. PRCI.
Ano ginagawa ng pila?
About science.
Ano naman?
PRD. Alam mo kung sa PRD. Pero may development document. Benefits and concerns of using nanotechnology. Example of areas affected by nanotechnology. Health, improvement. Kumbaga, mas mamapalan sa natin yung yung paggawa ng mga gamot para sa atin. Ability to craft and bring and transformate in the body. Kumbaga, makapasok sa ating katawan mo nanotechnology, nakikita yung lahat na natin sa body. Dahil na dito, hindi na kailangan na i-approve yung nanotechnology sa paggamit ng medicine in this world. Dahil yung mga cosmetic experiment, yung mga cosmetic, yung mga kapatid and tablet. Economy, passport, wedding product, siyempre, magiging best. Mas mapapadami ang ating mga products dahil sa nanotechnology. Floyd Julia, dahil nga madami yung product, madami din lalabas sa bagong trabaho dahil sa nanotechnology. Concern, let's review the trend. Kumbaga, kayaman tayo, may pamamahagi yung kayamanan natin sa nanotech. Yung nanotechnology.
Ano ba bahagi na nandiyan?
Hindi pa din ako mag-break.
Para sa
Okay, potential cost of cleanup and healthcare. Potential
hindi sigurado na rin.
pero, kailangan na yan. Alam niya, sure na talaga yan. And, ano yan? Accessibility ko ating government. Kumbaga, magkakaroon tayo ng kahit ang level natin kahit nasa lower middle class na tayo. Sige, thank you. Salamat ka sa kanya.
Painting?
For the last part, part, we will be talking about the social and ethical consideration in conducting research in nanotechnology. At ano naman kailangan yung isipin if ever, maging scientist kayo or engineer na gagawa ng isang nanotechnology. Okay, bigyan ng example. For example, sinabi kanina, nanosilica fertilizer. So, kung number one, who will benefit from it? Di ba fertilizer siya? Isipin nyo agad na makakatulong yun sa mga farmers at sa mga nabili ng mga inaani ng mga farmers.
Wala ba yung harm?
May meron. On the other hand, who won't? So, isipin na, nakikita na naman din natin, yung mga hindi nasa agriculture sector ng Pilipinas o yung bansa na ginawa niyang isang nanotechnology, hindi siya makakapag-benefit from it. Number two, from whom and what are your objectives for developing your product? So, kung nang-silica fertilizer, ang objectives lang naman is makagawa ng isang scientific solution or yung pag-integrate ng nanotechnology in our application. Number three, how will it affect social, economic, and political relationship? Kung iisip nyo, hypothetically, yung ibang mga senador, yung mga government official, is pwede makipag-coordinate sa inyo para makipag-tulong at ma-promote ang inyo. And next, yung economic naman, mas mapapalago yung mga, yung fertilizer example, mapapalago yung mga next is, what problems is products trying to solve? Kung fertilizer, ito yung problema sa lupa, sa mga so, who will access to it and who will be excluded? Kasi fertilizer, sa example is fertilizer. So, mga farmers lang usually access to ito. Number 6 is, are there dangers involved with its development, safety, and solution? How can you minimize the problem? How can you minimize the problem? Yung sinabi kanina, kung may mga bad effects, usually naman, dahil science ito, may advancement, pwede siya makakas sa mga pollution, mga chemicals. So, kung gano'n, kailangan mo as a scientist, isipin kung ano ang kailangan mong gawin para ma-minimize yung go well only then how can you ensure na access to it. Self-explanatory na lang siya, yung maka-accounts, kung fertilizer example, dapat maka. Any questions sa nanotechnology or our report? Wala. Thank you for listening.